Hey guys, I know we haven't done one of these in a while, but so much has happened and since the last time I filmed one of these that I've decided, you know what, let's pick back off because I've got a couple things to say too. Um, Most of that pertaining to the name of this video, my fucking crash out, and what that basically means for this channel. Um, First and foremost, I know I say this a lot, but I truly am sorry for all the breaks and hiatus. Um, Recently, I don't know if you guys know, I have moved out. I'm in my own apartment now. I am at university, so it's been a lot of changes, and unfortunately, navigating those changes means that I have had to put content creation on the side because this is a big step in my life, and I just feel like it's really hard to commit to being full-time student, moving out, being on my own content creation, working because I do work a lot. I'm not full-time, but I be working hours like I'm full time. I also just recovered from a back injury and being sick in the last 2 weeks, and I just finished my semester exams. Now, I will say, I know I just got back and I'm like, I'm gonna make a commitment, but I am going on break for winter vacation, so I won't be here for a week and a half, 10 days. I will do my best to upload videos in that time. I'm on a mass editing thing of a bunch of video ideas I've wanted to do, so maybe like more committed to that, as well as I will most likely be posting on my TikTok and Instagram, which I'll link below if you guys just want to follow those just to watch more content. But let's get into why I call this shit my crash show, otherwise known as my villain origin story. Um, Basically, for those of you that don't know, just because I don't think a lot of you do, because I don't think I've mentioned it before, but let's get it started from the beginning. Um, as you guys know, my Overwatch handle is Arson is great. Now, mind you, this is like just a funny name that I've had and a joke that I've shared with my community since I've started streaming. I've had this username my entire streaming and majority of my Overwatch like career. Yes, I know it's petty that this shit is happening mainly because of a name, but just hear me out, okay? So this name has done, or not done, but it just means a lot to me in my community because a lot of people will follow me because they're like, oh my god, your in-game name was so funny, blah blah blah. And it's just been an ongoing inside joke between my community since I have started out. Now, mind you, this is not a common name. If someone else were to come up with it, by all means, but the person who has copied my name in a sense, I know damn well they copied it because of me. And that's what I'm going to get into. This person basically was my high school stalker. He was the reason I had to leave my grade 11 school after 1 year. He made it so insufferable that I had to leave after a year and go back to my old school. Um, for those of you that don't know, because I don't think I've talked about it, yes, I had a stalker. This guy was like fucking insane, okay? He constantly was telling people, like, oh, I liked him so much. No, I don't fucking like your baked potato, half assed looking, overcooked, fucking piece of shit self, okay? First and foremost. Secondly, like, the amount of rumors and shit this guy was doing, insane, because we shared a mutual friend group. Mind you, I never even wanted to be friends with him. I was just talking to his friend, and he jumped in and joined my conversation. So, boom. Well, whatever, right? So basically, um, long story short, at the time, I was in a relationship. I'm not in it anymore, but was in a relationship, had a boyfriend. He knew I had a boyfriend, and at this point, I was starting to get weirded out by him. He was just doing too much, and you can kind of tell. Like, I'm oblivious for when people hit on me and stuff. But it got to the point where like I was just like, okay, this guy's doing too much. I need to like put some distance or something in between us because I'm getting weirded out. Basically, what caused me to fucking lose my shit and blow up at him and tell him to like fuck off and never fucking talk to me again, was basically the fact that when I was dating my boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend, I guess, this guy was like, "Can I buy you and your boyfriend a gift?" Now, mind you, he worked at Toys R Us, so occasionally I'd be like, "Oh, um, I like Squishmallows, like I like the Hello Kitty ones and stuff." So I would ask him because we were friends at this point, and I would pay him back. Okay, it was not something like whatever. I was not using him, nothing like that. I'd just be like, "Hey, did you get any Squishmallows?" and blah blah. So he knew I liked them, and basically, what he did is he kept trying to buy me and my ex matching Squishmallows. Mind you, I was like 17. My ex is 2 years older than, like, he's 19. Like, whatever, right? He was a first year in uni. I was in, like, whatever, right? So, basically, I was like, look, dude, he's not gonna fucking want a Squishmallow, and I feel weird that you're trying to buy me something when I said I don't want it either. And basically it goes back and forth, and the excuses I'm giving him is like, oh, I just don't want, like, gets to the point where I'm like, look, dude, because he wasn't gonna let me pay him back. So I'm like, hey, I don't want it to seem like I'm using you, so I really don't want you to buy, ooh, some of that fell. But I was like, I really don't want it to seem like I'm using you, so I don't want you buying me a gift. I don't want you buying me and my boyfriend a gift. So I hate to break it to you. And then he decides to go and hit me with the, oh, well, if anything, I'm using you in place of an actual girlfriend. And then I hear that and I'm like, oh, hell no. Fuck that fucking bullshit. Like, and I said that, I'm like, what the F is wrong with you? You know I have a boyfriend. I don't like you. I don't see you that way. Like, I only, like, I saw you as a friend and that's pushing it, blah, blah, blah. All of this bullshit, right? Ugh, this shit is crumbling. Whatever, right? So this starts my crash out because what the fuck? And mind you, I was already getting weirded out because one thing, if you don't know, I go to like conventions. I cosplay characters. So at the time, like, he started doing weird shit and I was like literally so weirded out. But whatever, right? So then I end our friendship. And instead of him taking it like a normal fucking guy and taking the L, or maybe even working his way back up into like my good graces and shit like that, you know what he does? He proceeds to buy a whole new SIM card to start texting me because I blocked him. And then after that doesn't work, he goes through my Instagram following because at this point I didn't block him. I was just like, look, whatever, he can say whatever the fuck he wants in my DMs. Like, I'm not huge on blocking people. I only start to do it when it gets really like fucking ridiculous, which it did. Anyways, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna block him or whatever. So he's like ranting my DMs, and then he goes to my Instagram following and he adds like people he knows are like my family members. Like, he adds my twin sister, and then he adds people he knows I'm friends with. And I started losing my shit because basically, one thing too is I kind of got like that friend group into Overwatch. I played it a lot, so I kind of, and this is the time Overwatch I think was becoming free to play, so I, or something like that. It may have been earlier, I don't know. But anyways, I kind of got my friend group into Overwatch. One of my friends, what made me like lose it and kind of start to block him was one, the Instagram thing where he went and basically found all of my friends and family members and started adding them and having, and basically texting them, asking them to ask me to talk to him. That was like the number one thing, because that's fucking insane. Like, if I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to talk to you. Don't be fucking like messaging my family and friends that you don't even know. They don't even know you. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So then secondly, we had some like the same classes, And basically in one of them, I was talking to another one of my friends, and I was telling them, like, basically about how later that day I was gonna go play Overwatch with my friend that I made, that I was friends with from a different high school. So basically grade 9 and 10 I went to, grade 9, 10, and 12 I went to one high school, grade 11 I went to a different one. This was basically, I was talking about a friend I made at the grade 9 and 10 high school that I had known since I was in middle school. So I've known this friend forever, and basically, he doesn't know who he is. He only knew who he was because one time they played Overwatch together, because I was playing Overwatch with my friend and I invited him to be nice. And that was that. So, whatever. I'm making plans basically to play Overwatch with the friend from my other high school, and I was talking about it to a friend in my class. And basically, he overheard that, and later I get a message that day. I'm literally on my bus going home, and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna go play with my friend, and it's like, hey, me and your friend that I don't know are gonna be playing Overwatch later today. Do you want to join? Who the fuck? So then I blocked him at that point because I'm like, what the actual fuck? There's no way you're literally messaging my friends and trying to invite me to my own plans, you know? I'm like, that's just some next fucking level delusion. And I told my friend that, he unadded him, got rid of him, blah, 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 right? So at that point, I just blocked the guy because I'm like, he's doing some fucking crazy shit in my DMs. That pissed me off. Him adding my family and them all texting me like, hey, who is this guy? Why is he telling me to add you? Blah, blah, blah. All this shit. And then on top of that, he starts threatening to, like, himself in my DMs. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I was like 16 or 17. I'm like, this is not my fucking circus. I'm not dealing with it, right? So at that point, basically what happened is when he started saying that shit, I just blocked him. I took screenshots of it because I knew this shit was gonna escalate and I was gonna have to report him. And one thing is, my mom's a child trauma therapist, and her thing is like, if someone is threatening any type of harm to themselves, to you, you have two options. You go to the school, you call the police, okay? This is important. So, obviously, whatever, right? I was just like, okay, I'm gonna have to end up going to the school about it because blah, blah, blah. So, in the meantime, before I put in like the formal report to him, this guy is stalking me in the fucking hallways. Like, I would walk somewhere, he's 30 feet behind me, hiding behind corners and watching me. Okay. That's fucking weird. And like on top of that, he was ordering shit to my fucking house. Mind you, the only reason why he knew where I lived is because one time me and all of our friends were having a group hangout, and his mom dropped me off home. His mom. And he remembered my address and was shipping stuff to my house for me, which is fucking insane. And so whatever that happens, he's stalking me in the hallways. I'm literally running away. Like, I'm literally hiding from this dude. And mind you, basically one thing about me was I went to school, I got the same thing for lunch every day. I got like an M&M cookie, and I got a vitamin water. I know it's not like lunch, but I had an early lunch. So that's just kind of what I would get unless I ordered food. But basically what would end up happening is I sat and, hello? Why does my camera not want to focus? Okay, whatever. Anyways, basically, I would sit in like the same spots every day for lunch, and what he would do is, obviously I would get up occasionally, whether I had to go to the bathroom or I went to go get water or something like that. And when I would get up and come back, he would go buy the lunch I would get, and then he would leave it where I would sit. I'm not even like joking. Hold up. Okay. I need to go grab my setting spray, BRB. Okay. I hit setting spray off camera just because, oh, my mouse is sliding away. But just because it's kind of hard to do that on camera. Um, I hope that's not picking up too much in my mind. But anyways, continuing where I left off. So he would leave that shit whenever I would go sit down. So then basically all this shit is starting to build up because now I'm finding out that like he was saying a bunch of shit about me, how like I was obsessed with him, how I wanted him, all that shit when everyone knew I didn't. Literally everyone. And at that point, like after he started the self-harm things in my DMs and shit like that, I was like, fuck this shit. And I went to the school. So when I reported him to my school, basically, the VP, she was like, oh my god, like that's so crazy, blah blah blah. Even like, what was it? Basically, I told the attendance lady, like the secretary, she loved me. I explained this. She felt so bad for me. So I was telling them about it, and she's just listening, blah, blah, blah. So then, whatever. I told her my side. She was, oh my god, so glad you brought this up for me because, again, I was like, look, I'm going to tell you this because it's starting to affect me. And my mom told me that whenever stuff like this is happening, I have two options. One is to go to the school, and the second one is to go to the police. And because I don't want to get the police involved, I'm coming to the school to tell you that this is what's happening. So basically, I explain everything he's done, every single thing. And she's like, okay, well, we need to talk to him. We're going to pull him from your classes, blah, blah, blah. And mind you, all of our mutual friends were on my side. I'm like, look, this is everything that's happening. I asked all my mutual friends, I'm like, hey, if it comes down to it, are you okay? Like, me mentioning your name and stuff. So, like, if they have questions, they can ask you and stuff like that. And they go, yeah, that's fine. So, basically, all of us, literally 5 people, it was like me, or 4, I guess. Me, 4, like 3 or 4 other dudes in this friend group are all saying, this guy is stalking me. He's being weird. No one knows what the fuck he's doing. Like, it's some weird ass shit. So then, basically, he goes and talks to the VP, and this is what he says verbatim. He's like, oh, like, this whole thing is affecting my mental health, and people are running away from me in the hallways, and blah, blah, blah. You know who's running away from him in the hallways? Me. I was, because he was following me. So then, whatever. I get called back down, and at this point, the VP starts blaming me. She's like, you can't be telling people what's going on because he has mental health issues and people are getting scared of him and running in the hallways and blah blah blah. Like, you can't be doing this or you're gonna be facing like suspension and things like that. And I go, I'm being stalked. I'm the victim here. He's gonna say he has mental health issues because he can't deal with the consequences of his own actions, and you're gonna blame me for it? So at that point, I start crashing out. I start crying my fucking eyes out because I'm like, how am I getting threatened with suspension because this guy stalked me, is literally ruining my life at school, makes me not want to come, following me around, doing all this BS. How am I getting blamed for it, right? So at that point, one of my friends, he steps in, he's like, I'm gonna go talk to her because I don't know what's going on with this dude, but he is not right in the head. I'm like, thank you. So me and that friend, we were really close for a while. Things happened, so whatever. But really thankful for him in that situation because he went and like actively defended me and talked to the VP without her coming and asking and said, hey, this is the situation. Like, I'm worried about my buddy. He's acting hella weird. He's like, we all know she's literally getting harassed and stalked, and he's saying all this shit about her. Like, what's going on? So, whatever, right? Basically, the VP is not doing anything, and so then I'm crying. Like, I'm bawling my eyes out. The secretary is doing her best. I love the secretary so much. But she's doing her best to calm me down. And at that point, I'm like, I've had enough. So because of that, I pull out the big guns. The big guns being my mom. Now, mind you, my mom has 4 daughters. She's a child trauma therapist. She works with people that have been through hell on earth, and we're from the States. In the States, this situation would have a very different ending than what would happen in Canada. And she knows that. She knows that if we were in the States, there is a very good chance that I would be like literally taken out like by this dude if it were the States. So I call her, I explain this whole situation to her because at this point I was just trying to deal with it through school. I wasn't trying to make a big deal about it or anything. And she goes, put me on the phone with the vice principal right now. And I was like, ooh. I'm like, this bitch is about to fucking hear it. Because at this point, like, my mom saying that, guys, that's me talking her down because she was at work. She's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm dropping all my sessions. I'm gonna be the right fucking, like, she's going off, not on me. She's like, I'm gonna be there, blah, blah. I'm like, no, mom, please don't leave work. Please don't do it. Like, I don't know, just like talk on the phone or whatever, right? So basically, I talked to the secretary. I'm like, hey, um, my mom wants to talk to the VP. Like, can you talk to her real quickly? She goes, oh my God, yeah. So the secretary is talking to my mom. My mom's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, my daughter is telling me that this is the situation and they're threatening her and they're being rude to her when she's the victim and blah, 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 blah. And all of this BS, right? And mind you, what was it? One thing I do want to point out about this whole situation that really caused me to kind of lose it with the VP is she goes, you know, boys will have crushes. You're pretty. You should understand that. And I'm like, what does my looks have to do with anything? Like, at all. Nothing. They shouldn't. Doesn't matter if I'm fucking Bella Hadid. Like, if a person's harassing me, they're harassing me. Hate to break it to you, that's the situation. So whatever, right? So then the secretary's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have you talk to the VP. And at that point, they just take my phone, and I'm like, oh, okay. But from what I heard, because yeah, I heard it, my mom blows the fuck up. She's like, you're gonna blame my daughter for a man. This guy is shipping stuff to my house. He's making my daughter feel unsafe. You're running a damn school and you're letting these boys do this. You know what he's gonna be when he's older? Rhymes with rapists. And you know what? If this were the States, just so you know, there would be a school, pew pew, and all of this and that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So my mom loses her mind. She's like, you're not gonna sit there and say blame my daughter for this guy's mental health issues when he's insane and what it happens because he's creating like mental issues for my daughter. She's becoming depressed. She doesn't want to go to school. She doesn't want to do anything because she doesn't feel safe. She doesn't even feel safe going to work because he shows up there. And you want to blame her like all, and she goes off. So then at that point, basically, the VP was like, okay, blah, blah, blah. She gets scared, and what they do is they remove him from my classes. And at that point, I was happy with that. I was like, that's fucking good enough. And after that whole situation, when people are like, oh my God, what happened? I just told them. Because at first I was trying to keep quiet about it, but I'm like, if this guy's the audacity to lie and try to get me in trouble at school because he's insane, then I'm going to tell everyone. So I told everyone what happened. That ostracized him even more, which is like none of my business. I truly didn't give a singular fuck. Like, you could have no friends and I would not care. You deserve to have no friends, you fucking freak. And I genuinely hope he hears when I say that, but whatever. Right? So, anyways, basically that's the whole lore with that. He ended up getting put in like the mental hospital, like after that whole situation happened. Clearly it didn't fucking work because bro still won't leave me alone. Because just so you guys know, after the everything happened, one thing I kind of mentioned it briefly, but you guys know I go to conventions and things like that. at these conventions, I do cosplay. One of the characters I was cosplaying mainly was like the only one I had, which was Shinobu from Demon Slayer. And one thing about this cosplay is basically people like he knew about it, and what he did is he went and got a cosplay that matched mine, and he never watched Demon Slayer. And he thought I was gonna match cosplays with him, which is like hell no. And then basically I think that was it. Oh, he always mentions me. Like when people talk about like their first exes and stuff like that, for some reason he brings me up as his first ex girlfriend, even though we never fucking dated. And mind you, our mutual friends, like I'm still friends with some of these guys. Every time he brings that up, they're so quick to clock his ass and be like, "You never dated her. Like you just stalked her and harassed her." So don't be friends, like, cause those guys are so fed up with this BS. Um, but yeah, he would just kind of do crazy bullshit like that. He would follow me to conventions and things like that. Um, so that was great. Sorry, I'm trying to do my lip combo, but I can't do it in talk. So wait, let me lock in. Okay. No. Okay. Oh my god, that shit is so crooked. Hold up, guys. That is so bad. Oh my god, my lip liner is so dull too. Oh, eyelash. Okay. There, lip liner set. So yeah, basically, that was my whole stalker situation. Um, anyways, back to the whole point of this, which is what the fuck? Like this guy, mind you, this happened in high school. I'm in first year university after taking a gap year. So it, oh my god, it's so crooked. Hold up. Ignore the bottom lip. Okay, we're gonna go raw. Good. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. But yeah, so anyways, it's been for almost 4 years now, and tell me why I get a screenshot from one of our mutuals, and I know some of you guys are like, why do you have mutuals with them? I'm like, I want you guys to know when I joined this friend group, these guys have been friends for like years, and it wasn't like for a while when they weren't friends like with him, that was great and all, but I had to sit down and realize like, look, um main reason, like these guys have are like family friend connected, you know. So unfortunately they were gonna have to talk to him, they were gonna have to be friends with him again, kind of, which is more kind of like a sorry for them rather than me. um Whatever. But ooh. Okay, anyways, back to the story. So, anyways, back to the whole point of this. I get a screenshot from my friend a few days ago. Basically, insert this photo here, and it's this guy basically stealing my Overwatch username. And as we know, this name means a lot to me, because it's Overwatch was the game that got me into streaming. It's what my original community is built on. I have met amazing people playing this game and through my community, and this name just means a lot to us. So for you to try and take something like that from me after like you were an awful person to begin with is fucking diabolical, and I'm not going to let it fucking stand. And I hope you know that. And I hope you know that you have just kickstarted my fucking lock-in. I am literally going to fucking make it and spite you and take this name and build a whole community and watch you crumble just because you want to fucking spite me. And I hope you know, I'm not the one, I'm not the two, I'm not even the three to fucking mess with. And you're gonna fucking learn that shit. Because we're not in high school anymore. You're not gonna have, you can't go tattle to a VP and call mental health issues. Because I don't give a fuck. You're grown enough to not act this way. You're grown enough to leave me and my community the fuck alone. And you're grown enough to know what you're doing is fucking insane. So let's start Crash Out Gate 2026. Basically, what this entails is I'm going to be coming back to streaming. I'm going to be coming back to YouTube. I'm going to be coming back to TikTok and Instagram. Full frontal social media blast on everything. So this benefits you guys because you guys are going to get a lot of fucking content. But anyways, I want you to know that, like, although I haven't been streaming and stuff, this community is the most important thing to me, which is why I'm starting this Crash Out series and why I'm going to put everything in my power to build this community. Because even if it's something as simple as a name, we all know it's more. And you guys have been with me since day one. You've been with me when I had no followers, no viewers, nothing. You've been with me when I've had tons of them. You've been with me when I'm going on like a 3-month hiatus. Just, you guys mean a lot to me. And I finally hit the point where I'm just like, I'm not gonna let a selfish fucking man take anything from me. Especially a guy who's just a piece of fucking shit. So, all my baddies in here, I want to say I love you all. I hope y'all miss me because y'all are about to be fucking sick of me. Mwah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I will probably mention this, everything, like on streams and stuff. I'm actually going to stream right now, but that stream's going to happen before I upload this video. But yeah, just be on the lookout. Regular streams, regular TikToks, regular Instagram. Love y'all.